Sai Ram. Let us chant Om 3 times. Om. 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 My humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Baba, Sai Ram, to one and all present here. Sai's sister, Mrs. Jayashree Amarnath's journey is a profound testament to lifelong learning and spiritual devotion. A proud alumna of Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, Anantapur, she graduated with her Bachelor of Science in 1980 after joining the campus in 1977. Her spiritual odyssey began early with her first darshan in Vrindavan while she was in her 5th standard, a moment etched in her memory with vivid clarity. As Balvika student, Mrs. Jayashree Amarnath was deeply influenced by her revered guru, Sri Nallu Ganapati, whose teachings have been guiding light throughout her life. Her inaugural visit to Puttaparthi for Balvika's rally on the auspicious occasion of Swami's 50th birthday in 1975 marked the beginning of what would become over 3 decades of dedicated service as Balvika's guru. Her commitment to education and spiritual upliftment saw her take on the mantle of educational coordinator for Bangalore North, a role she fulfilled with distinction over 10 years. Today, she continues to inspire as a resource person, sharing her wisdom and experiences to the next generation. An active member of the Sultan Palia Samiti in Bangalore North, Mrs. Amarnath's participation in all the Samiti and zone activities is a reflection of her unwavering dedication to the community and the principles she holds dear. Her life's work stands as a beacon of her service and devotion. Let us cherish those moments of her spiritual journey by listening to her this evening. I welcome Sister Jayashree.
Thank you so much for those kind words, Nirmala.
Thank you.
Okay, Sai Ram. My most humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of our dear Sai Ma, the indweller of all our hearts. A loving Sai Ram to each one of you present here. You know what, whenever I'm with our Anantapur girls, whether in Parthi or Vrindavan, it really makes me so happy. I feel that, it's like meeting a family. And I think it is that Swami's divine love that passes through each one of us, that bondage is there. So today, though virtual, I'm really happy to be with all of you here. I have a few incidents in mind, but I am just praying to Swami, whatever he inspires, let me share those. Like Sister Nirmala said, we first came to know of Swami when I was in my 3rd or 4th standard. We were in Meerut. And one day my father came and told me that his colleague, one Mr. Venkatraman Mama, he told him that there were bhajans being held in his house. And because, Meerut, not many South Indians were there at that time, he said, why don't you all come and attend? So my mother and me started attending the bhajans there, and that is when we first saw the picture of Swami. Before that, we had not heard about Swami. And his wife, Lakshmi Mami, used to, I remember very vividly, she would, after every bhajan, she would, feel his presence, and she would say, did you see Swami was here? Did you see him sitting? Did you see him? I saw him when the milk was boiling, I saw him. I remember all this. So I used to always wonder how she can see the Swami in her house. And very soon, and incidentally, her children, Lata and Nirmala, are alumnus of our college. So I'm mentioning their names because I'm grateful to them for having brought us to Swami's fold. my gratitude to that family. After that, very soon my father was transferred to Bangalore, and I remember Lakshmi Mami saying that you are very lucky that you all are going to Vrindavan. His Swami's ashram is also there, so you can all have darshan. So like sister mentioned, it was on Ugadi day that I had my first darshan of Swami. And we were staying in Indranagar at that time. So very soon we got in touch with a lot of Sai devotees. So we started attending the bhajans. At that time Sai darshan was not there. So the bhajans used to be held on rotation in 5 or 6 houses. And our house used to be one of them. So, we were very lucky. That was a very nice Sai family. And many times we would travel with them to even Vrindavan. And Swami actually, I think, used to love coming to Indranagar at that time. So there was one uncle whose name was Kagal uncle. Swami would call up and tell him, I'm coming to your house for lunch. I'm coming to your house for dinner. And uncle used to be kind enough to inform all of us. And we would all rush, to his house. And just a small, family of about 15 or 20 of us used to be there. Not family, only members. 20, 20 maximum 25. So I have great memories of having lunch with Swami then. A lot of, you can see this is one of his visits. And I'm sure you can spot me there. Small crowd having Swami's darshan at close quarters. It used to be wonderful. Yeah. Vishali, some more. I can share some more photographs of those lovely times. Swami coming to Indranagar. So these, I think I'm somewhere here again. Yeah, I'm sure you can spot me there in trying to take Pad Namaskar, I think. Yeah. Yeah, one next, Vishal. Yeah, this is another Swami talking. And even he used to come with Kasturi Garu and his son. And so I've heard many times even Kasturi Garu talking there in the Vrindavan, in Indranagar. Here is, my mother in the center serving Swami lunch. So she was blessed to have, served Swami lunch when he came to Indranagar in one of those houses. Okay, now I just want to just share a small incident about this picture. During one of his visits, I knew by then that, I have to wear, langa or long skirt whenever we go for Swami's darshan. But at that time, I had sort of outgrown my Pava days, the langas. So my mother gave me this dress. It was new. I remember last time when Ranjini also talked about bell bottoms. I think that was in vogue then. So this is bell bottom then. So I felt a little very conscious to go in front of Swami in this dress. But then that was a nice dress to wear. So my mother said, no, it's okay. You just wear this. It is new. So I very reluctantly wore that dress and I went. And during this particular photograph, as all were standing next to him, I was standing near the doorway. Just because, I felt I was not dressed appropriately to go and stand for that photograph. So I was just standing near the doorway and looking, and I was really feeling, I was almost in tears because I'm not part of that photograph. And just when the photograph was about to click, Swami stopped him and he looked at me and he told me, he beckoned like this, come. So I just ran and I stood next to him. So this a very special memory that I have about this picture, how Swami called me and asked me to stand next to him. And I stood there and took this picture. So this is great. And this is also when, Swami, when he was leaving for the Aarti. You can see my forehead there in front of Swami. So auntie, this is Kagal auntie who was lighting the Aarti for him. And my brother here in the corner. So as the Om Jai Jagadishwari, the Aarti started, Swami materialized Vibhuti and he applied on all our foreheads. You can see Vibhuti on our foreheads, all those children who were standing in the front. So he applied Vibhuti And actually, he played talam on my brother's cheek at that time, though he doesn't remember. Swami went on tapping on his cheek. So this photograph also, brings great memories to me. Yeah, and very soon, Nallu auntie, who used to be part of our weekly bhajans, she told us, she's going to start Balvikas. She said, though I was in 9th, I think, at that time, she said, no, never mind. I want some children to come to the class, so you all start coming. So we started going to Nallu auntie's class for Balvikas. So we were attending her class, and it was very enjoyable. Auntie is a great teacher, so we used to enjoy her Balvikas classes. And very soon it was Swami's 50th birthday in 1975, and we were trained for that rally song, Sai Sai Jupte Chalo. I'm sure many of you remember that song. When I went to college, I found many of them who had attended the 50th birthday celebration in 75. So I was part of that rally. We went to Parthi, and children had come from all over India. So, there was not much accommodation. So what Swami said was, the girls will be accommodated in Anantapur, and the boys will remain in Parthi. I remember we all complaining to Nallu auntie, saying, why should we go so far away? Why can't we be in Parthi? These boys are very lucky, and things like that. But little did I know that was his master plan. We went to Anantapur, and when I saw that college in that beautiful atmosphere, I fell in love with that college, and I came back after the beautiful rally in experience in Parthi. I came back and told my father that I want to study in Anantapur. My parents were not very keen, and I had 2 more years of school, so they thought I will forget. And I have 3 brothers, so my mother kept saying that you're the only daughter. We want you to be with us. Why should you go to Anantapur? So many colleges in Bangalore. But I was quite adamant, and I said, I'm not applying anywhere else in Bangalore. It's going to be only Anantapur. So we applied, and by his grace, at that time there were no entrance exam. I think I'm fortunate. No entrance exam, so we applied, and I got an admission card. And very soon I found myself in Anantapur. Only later, Jayama madam told us that, the list would be given to Swami, and Swami would tick the names, who all for the admission. He would tick the names, and accordingly the admission card used to be sent to us. Of course, whether he does it physically or no, it is just his will, and I think only we are all very blessed to be part of our college. And I started, the routine and everything. I was very happy in Anantapur. I loved all the sessions. I loved the service. I loved everything. And of course, even the visits to Parthi, and also Swami's visits to Anantapur. So here I would just mention, I remember once we were all asking ma'am that, we want to go to Parthi, and ma'am said, exams were around the corner. So she said, no, not now. I think you all need to focus on your studies, so not now. And we all went to the bhajan hall, and they started singing all darshan songs. Pyare Nandalal, Darshan Dijo, and all the darshan songs. And very soon, the phone bell rang, and I'm sure many of you remember all this. So the phone bell rang, and it was the call from Parthi asking all the girls to come to Parthi for darshan the next day itself. So I remember the excitement that we all were, we sang bhajans here, and here is Swami immediately responding, So small experiences like that, sort of made this thing very strong, that, you just have to call him sincerely, and he is there to listen to you always. He listens to you. Only later, as I grew older, I realized he doesn't have to be in Parthi, or he is just within us, and he responds to all our prayers. So this is one incident which is very special. And of course, Swami's visit to Anantapur, once when he stayed overnight, and we all assembled in the college portico for Omkar and Suprabhatam. And just as we started, Swami came gliding down that beautiful staircase. It was early morning, silent, and Swami coming down that stairs for darshan. It was just heaven. Yeah. And during that visit, since we were all in our, we were under Venkateshwara University then, and it was our first semester exam in the university. Swami blessed us and gave us all pens, and he said, you all will do well in your exam. My classmate actually reminded me of that incident very recently. So went like this, and one more another incident which is very dear to me is during the I camp. One I camp we had in Anantapur, when we all it was organized by the alumni. So after the I camp was over, it was almost for a week, and many cataract surgeries were done. And after that, when we, when all the camp work was over, Swami spoke to us. He actually came to the camp and visited the patients, and he was very happy. And then he told us that that day evening, he would be giving us an interview. But then I had to leave for Bangalore that day morning, because the next day was my father's 60th birthday. So I was very upset that I'm going to miss the interview that evening. So then all my friends, they're all so sweet. They all said, why don't you sit in the front and tell Swami that you are leaving now after the morning darshan, and take his permission and then go. So I know, even while in college, I used to be one of those who would never stand up and ask Swami anything, or go for the first row and all that. Wherever I get placed, I would just sit. So then I sat in the front, and when Swami came, I made myself bold and stood and told him, Swami, I think I spoke to him in Tamil, Appa or 60th birthday, and I have to go now. Immediately, Swami materialized Vibhuti, and he gave it to me. And then he said, he lifted his robe and said, take Pad Namaskar. So that was one Pad Namaskar, because I think, I have not, Swami lifting his robe, so that his Padam was completely visible. And I remember, just lying on that Padam and taking a beautiful Namaskar. And so he blessed, even though I had to leave. So I remember that very vividly, and it was a very special moment. And I have shared this somewhere else about his about the Akhanda Bhajan experience. Since many of you may not have heard, I'll just repeat it, because again that is very special, very dear to me. So it was Akhanda Bhajan in the first year, and we were all seated as usual in the mandir, and we were all waiting to bhajans to start. And Swami came in, the Ganesha Bhajan started. And as the bhajans, first bhajan itself, as it was proceeding, I felt I was near the pillar towards the wall in the corner. So I felt Swami was looking at me. So I just looked up, and then, but I found his eyes were really, furious. It was as if he was angry. So I just looked up, and then again after a few seconds I looked down, because I was not sure why was it he's angry or something. Again I looked up, again I felt the same gaze. I looked down, and after that I didn't look up. I was very scared. And then after 2-3 bhajans, Swami walked out of the mandir. And I was wondering, why was he looking at me? Why is this, furious look and all that? But there was this lady behind me, and she tapped me on my shoulder and she said, was Swami looking at you very angrily? So I said, oh no, it is just not me. Even the others are feeling the same. So, I felt that something was wrong. I started going back. I had just joined some 6-7 months back, November. So yeah. So I said, what, have I broken the rules of the hostel? Have I done something? My mind started, racing. And I didn't know that I had done anything consciously, anything wrong. So I just told Swami, I said, Swami, if I have not done anything wrong, then you should come and tell me to eat. Till you tell me to eat, I'm not going to eat anything. I'm going to just sit here, because I feel that I have not done anything. But if you feel that I have not done anything, you must come and tell me to eat. So that was my deal with Swami. So I sat through evening, then night dinner, I didn't get up. I sat through the whole night. Morning, I just got up to go and have a shower. And breakfast time, I just sat there. Breakfast was over. Swami came, morning darshan, he left. And then it was lunchtime. And then I saw everybody going. I just sat there. It was past lunch. It was around maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:32. I was just sitting there, and then suddenly I found, everybody. I was in the pathway at that time. And I found some movement, and we all turned around. Swami was entering through the back entrance of the mandir. He came and he stood in front of me, and then he looked at me and he did this. So I said, no, I had not eaten. Then he said, go and eat. He spoke in English. He said, go and eat. And I didn't know whether I should eat or I should, because I was so happy by then I didn't feel like eating. Because Swami had heard my prayers, so and he came and responded so beautifully. It was only later when I spoke to Jayama madam and Pushpa madam, they told me that how during bhajans, Swami's this thing changes. Sometimes he is like Shiva, sometimes he is like Krishna, even his skin color may change. So all these things can happen. So it is, you shouldn't take it personally. This is what ma'am told us. Anyway, that is one beautiful memory of Anantapur. And one of his visits during Anantapur, there was an exhibition, science and spirituality exhibition. So we all, we knew Swami was going to come and inaugurate and look at all the models there and everything. So Purna madam had told us that we could do on photosynthesis, some model there. So Usha, my classmate, and myself started working on that. And then ma'am guided us and told us, as you make your model, don't talk, just keep on chanting Swami's name. Only if you have to discuss something about the model, you can, talk, but otherwise try to chant Swami's name and keep on doing all this. So then we did that, and Swami came to when he came to our department, he made a very, very special this thing about that particular model and acknowledged it. So, the Usha and me felt really happy about that. So I think it is all these kind of small guidance that our ma'ams gave us, whether it is Jayama madam or Purna ma'am, Pushpa ma'am, all Adrani ma'am, so all of them. I'm just naming a few of them. And we are what we are today, right? So they have sort of molded us so beautifully. And Anantapur, yes, there are a few more things. I mean, first year again this happened. We were sitting on the sands of Prashanti Nilayam, and Swami used to give very, very early darshan, right? So, and he came, and we were, it was about 6:30 in the morning. Before Swami came, we were looking at the people around, and we were discussing, how there was one lady with an elaborate hairdo. So we said, how Swami, before Swami's darshan, we all barely have time to have bath and rush. How come this lady has so much time to do her hair and with such elaborate hairstyle? She must be getting up. Something like that, I think we were talking. And suddenly Swami came, and we all, quietly looked at him. He came straight to us where we were sitting. And we were a group who were just discussing this, right? So he stood in front of us and he said in Telugu, Matu, Matu, Matu. And then he said, he spoke in Telugu. He said, Swami doesn't look at the external appearance. He looks at your heart, he said. And he went away. So that was a great lesson. For me, it was, I was in my first year. Again, it was, again, he is hearing whatever we are talking. We are here, or just whispering. And Swami has heard us, what we are talking. And he's coming and talking to us. And that was one lesson, that he hears everything. And again, of course, not to just bother about what others are doing. I think we have to look at our own spiritual journey. of course, this as we grew, as I grew older, I realized all this. So that was one more beautiful experience at Anantapur. And Swami's visits during Vinayak Chaturthi and our visits to Parthi, all the interviews, those are all very, very special moments that I always cherish. So very soon, 3 years flew, and I found myself, it was 1980, and I had to, I was finishing my bachelor's degree and coming out of college. So I was quite upset that I'm leaving Anantapur. And but there's one thing, and many discourses I had always heard Swami saying, he's with us, in us, around us, he's always with us. So that particular thing always stayed with me. And I felt, okay, I'm just leaving college, but I'm just taking Swami with me, and he will be with me always. So that was one very firm faith that I had when I left college. So I came back to Indranagar, and immediately it was 1980. I was only, just passed out of college, and Nallu auntie told me, come and start taking Bal Vikas. I said, auntie, I'm not even a trained teacher now, and I've attended your class only for 2 years. She's saying, no, being an Anantapur student itself is enough for you to start classes. You start coming from next week. So I found myself teaching Bal Vikas children then. Auntie used to sit behind me, and I used to be very nervous taking Bal Vikas classes. And under her guidance, she would, after the class, tell me, how I can improve and all that. And it was wonderful, her journey with her was really wonderful. And then, for I think almost 3 years, I was taking Bal Vikas classes and with her in auntie's house. And then in 85, I got married and found myself going to Bahrain. So I was in Bahrain for almost 4 years. And there it was a different kind, of an experience. I had only read in books in Satyam Shivam Sundaram and all that, all these miracles, Vibhuti and Swami, chits falling from the, photograph, all this, I had heard of all that in only books. But there in Bahrain, I saw all these things happening in my, in a next building. There was a couple, one elderly couple, one Shivakumar Mama and Anandi Mami, in whose house Swami started showing his presence. Vibhuti falling in mounds, and that Mami used to be Devi Bhakta. So one day she just thought to herself, why Swami giving only Vibhuti and not Kumkumam? Does he not give Kumkum? And we loved, I was in their house at that time, and then auntie used to drive. So we had some shopping to do. So I went with her. And by the time we came and near the door, we found after the shopping, after about 2 hours, we found very fresh turmeric smell. And when we opened the door, we found a big amount of kumkumam in her house. So Swami heard her, and there was kumkum. And then he started having all the prasadam that Mami used to keep in the puja room. Whenever she would, from morning tea or coffee to breakfast to lunch, dinner, whatever she kept in the puja room, she would keep it, and we would come out. And after half an hour, we would go, you would find half chapati tone, rice all mixed and kept, and things like that. Somebody has eaten and kept halfway. So Swami would just eat whatever he liked, and sometimes one chapati would be missing. It was beautiful. I started enjoying that, feeling Swami's presence away from India, but still I knew he was always there and always assuring us, I'm always with you. And I said, okay, once I said, why on our anniversary, I said, why, Swami is anyway eating in their house. So I might as well make some sweet. So I made rasgulla for Swami, and I went and kept it in the room. I said, Mami, can I keep? She said, of course you can come and keep. So I went and kept rasgullas. I counted because I wanted to see whether he has eaten, right? So I had counted and I had kept. And after some time when we went, 8 rasgullas were missing. Swami had 8 rasgullas in their house. So that is one thing was so beautiful. that, Swami blessing. And then Mami had kept a card for us, it was all sealed and kept. And when I came home and I opened it, there was kumkum, he had blessed us with kumkum inside the packet. And one more incident in their house, which I want to share. One gardener came up, there was a small garden space in their house. And Swami came up, this gardener once came up and asked Mama, "Ye picture kiska hai?" And then Mama said, "It is our Guru." And he said, "Guru, kahan rehte hain? Where does he live?" Then he said, "He lives in India." He says, "Saab, aap kya bol rahe hain? I see this person coming very often to this building in the evenings. And I used to keep wondering, ye kiske ghar jate? Whose house does he go? This strange looking person. I have seen him entering the building." So Swami, has given the physical darshan to, he was a Pakistani gardener. So for him, he's only one, caste, the caste of humanity. For him, it doesn't matter who it is. He must have been a very special person. Swami gave him darshan. So after all these beautiful incidents and Swami telling that, yes, he is with us, then I would just now, one more the thing I would like to share is about my second daughter's birth. So we were in Saudi by then, and I was to come to Hyderabad for my delivery. So we made all that, and just before leaving Jeddah, we were in Jeddah. So I had to do a scan, and it showed that I have some issues. I have a low placenta. So the doctor said that I have to be very careful, and it's okay. Don't get worried, but you have to be very careful. So I flew to Hyderabad because my parents at that time were in Hyderabad, not in Bangalore. So we were in Hyderabad, and during I think it was my 8th month, I started having profuse bleeding. So I was admitted in the hospital in Hyderabad, and there the doctor, after examining, he came and told my father, who was with me. I mean, he was near my bed. So the doctor came and said, she is having heavy bleeding. So if doesn't stop by tomorrow morning, we won't be able to save both the mother and child. The child for sure, he said. And then my father got really worried after this, and especially because she had spoken in front of me. And then he said, he told me, "Don't worry, nothing will happen." But by Swami's grace, I felt better the next day. And after 3 days, I was discharged with instructions that I have to be in bed. I mean, I shouldn't move. But then I wanted to go to Bangalore because I felt, Hyderabad. My father wanted to go to Bangalore. I said, okay, I will come with Bangalore. But the doctor had not given permission. So then I had the travel certificate which was given in Jeddah, and we put a chit in front of Swami, and Swami said, "Go to Bangalore." So I told my parents, I don't think we should worry. Swami is saying go to Bangalore. So I'll just carry a vibhuti packet in my hand and let us travel. Nothing is going to happen. So I took a vibhuti packet, and of course my sister-in-law went to ask for a travel letter. The doctor was very furious, and she said, "Are you a medical student? You don't know how serious the problem is. So you shouldn't be asking me for a travel. I'm telling you that she has to take bed rest. So and then she asked my sister-in-law, so what will happen if she travels?" He said, "You be sure that by the time you land there, both will not be there." That's what she said. So my sister-in-law felt that I shouldn't be traveling. But then I said, "No, nothing. Swami is saying go to Bangalore, it'll be all fine." So I traveled with the vibhuti in my hand, traveled to Bangalore. And my brother was with a wheelchair and all. But I said, no, I'll just walk, and came to Bangalore. And so I met a doctor in Malleshwaram, and there used to be a Chaya nursing home, one Dr. Sulini Padmanabhan. And she saw my reports and she said, "Yes, you've taken great risk of coming, but it's okay now, you can relax." And it was uneventful. I was okay. And then 17th February, my daughter was born. Everything went fine. It was a very quick delivery. Nothing happened. And after 1 year, when I came back on vacation, after one year, I took some perfume or something, some gifts for that doctor. So then she said, she looked at me, and my daughter's name is Ananya. She looked at me and she said, Jayashree, how is your daughter Ananya? I said, doctor, you remember her name? Then she said, yes, I will remember yours and your daughter's, because first time in my professional life, I was worried. If I was worried about a patient, it was about you. Because usually with your kind of problem, when the delivery happens, the patient usually bleeds to death. So we are not able to save the mother. Baby will be okay, but mother we are not able to save. So I was very worried, and had instructed all my staff that when she comes, you please inform me. And I was ready with all the blood and everything, blood group, your blood group, but nothing happened. It was such a half an hour quick delivery that you had. I still can't understand if there is something which happens beyond science. That happened because science cannot explain how it happened with you. So I feel there is a protective hand which has been protecting you. This is what the doctor told me, and that too after 1 year. So this is one more thing, that how Swami just is with us at all times. And it was when the doctor told me, and then she had not even revealed to me that I was having an issue. She just kept quiet and she kept giving me positive this thing. So it was all Swami's grace that everything went fine. So that is one more incident that I wanted to share with you all. And like I told you, when I left college, for me this was always there. Wherever I'm traveling, whichever this thing, I will always see either Swami's picture somewhere, or I'll see his. Even when I traveled first time when I went to London, where my daughter is now, when I left here, I said, yes, Swami, let's go to London and you are with us. And as the flight landed, I said, okay, Swami, we have landed and now let's go. So when I got up, you will not believe, the person sitting in front of me is holding one book of Swami, and there is an Abhyasta there, So it is, like immediate response that he gives, that yes, he is with us at all times. Of course, you don't need those kind of reaffirmation. He is with us all times, but we still keep asking for proof, and he keeps giving us proofs. Yes, yeah. So that is one more thing I wanted to share, and then now. Now both my daughters who are in UK, even when they had their children, my elder daughter, when she had her, especially her second child, it was COVID times and I was not able to go there. And she was told by the doctors there that there is some issue with the baby. The baby seems to be having some brain development is not okay or something like that, to that effect, and she may be having some issues when she is born. So my daughter, who herself is a doctor, she was very upset, and so they had a lot of scans and everything. So I kept reassuring her. I said, no, Swami is with her, and Swami is with you, so don't worry, nothing will happen. Just take Vibhuti water every day, all will be fine, baby will be fine. So I kept reassuring her. And very soon her daughter was to be born. She was admitted. So she called and told me, I'm going to the hospital. We all couldn't go, the borders were closed. So she went there. When she was admitted, I came here to the puja room here in our house in Bangalore, and I said, Swami, you have to be her midwife, because a midwife plays a very important role there. So you have to be her midwife, you have to be her doctor, you have to be everything for her, because, we are not able to go. So please be with her. Just as I was telling Swami that my husband had just finished his puja, so the flower fell from Swami's photograph. So immediately I called and told my daughter, I said, see, so the flower fell. So Swami is with you, so don't worry at all. So everything will be fine. And then the midwife came there, when she was in the labor room. The midwife, before going to the labor room, the midwife came there. And as she entered, she said, hello, Aishwarya, I'm going to be a midwife for the next, till you leave the hospital. And then she started having casual conversations with her, and she said, "Is this your first child?" She said, "No, this is my second." "So where was your first child born?" So then she said, "My daughter was born in Bangalore." She said, "Oh, Bangalore, India." Then she said, "Yes." And she was a Norwegian, this midwife. And as she was talking, then she said, do you know Sai Baba?" She's asking my daughter, "Do you know Sai Baba?" "I have been there. I have been to Bangalore, and I have visited him." So my daughter was really, shocked. Here she was in UK in an unknown, place, and one midwife walks in among so many midwives in that hospital, who comes and says, "Do you know Sai Baba?" And here, when I told Swami, you have to be his midwife, you have to be her doctor, Swami gave that flower and he assured. So he was there with her. Baby was born, and now today she's named her Saisha, because she feels that she was Swami's gift to her. And that child is going to be 3 now. She's fine, and she's, I don't know, you all will not believe, but she sings so many bhajans. She's really very special. Sings a lot of bhajans, and has started even singing in the bhajan in their samiti. So Swami just made sure that her brain was fine, everything is fine, and she's going to be a normal child. So again, that was Swami with her all the time. And then my second daughter also, when she was, having her son, that time she also had a lot of problems with her, all the age, from the 6th, 7th month, she was having a lot of issues. And every time she went, wanted some help somewhere, a doctor, that would be a Sai devotee. And then she had to go for a scan, and she was very worried how the scan is going to be. And she walks into a restaurant which in an unknown place in London, and she walks into the restaurant. She finds a life-size photograph of Swami with the Abhyasta. So she took pictures and she sent it to me, and she said, "Amma, just see what I'm finding here. I'm just going for a scan, and I was a little worried. And Swami is saying, yes, he's with me all the time." So, and then afterwards, yes, she had a difficult childbirth, but then now both are fine, and baby is also fine. So this is one of, Swami, like I said, when I left college, I felt that he's telling me he's going to be with us at all times. And I've seen that at every, every moment in my life, he has been with me, and he has been guiding all of us. And of course, now she mentioned about Bal Vikas. Yes, Bal Vikas has been a very special journey for me. Like I told you, I started when I was not even 20 years old. I passed out in 80, and I started Bal Vikas. And of course, with some intervals here and there, Bal Vikas journey has been going on. I have shared my experiences of a Bal Vikas teacher in Saudi Arabia, how it used to be very difficult. I think I've shared with you all in Parthi. But Swami has always said that he is with us, and we didn't have any issues, even though that time the country was very strict about the rules. He saw to it that our Bal Vikas classes always went very, very smooth. So from Bangalore to the Gulf, and then again back to Bangalore when we came back in 2002, to now my Bal Vikas journey has been continuing, and I enjoy being with the children and enjoy their journey a lot. And all those children, those who have even passed out, they keep in touch. So that gives us so much, we feel so good, and they've all well placed and wherever they are. So it is a beautiful journey, and I think many of you should take up. It's beautiful being a Bal Vikas teacher. So you can be with so many children at all times. And Swami will always blesses whatever we are doing. So these are some of the experiences. Do I have more time? What is the time? Yeah.
Yes, Akka. Yes, it is only 8:45.
Okay. Just 1 minute. 1 minute.
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Now I'll just share about one experience that I had uh, in Saudi, and one of Balvika's this thing only. When we were having bhajans, you know how it is in those who have been in Saudi will know that it is very difficult to hold anything there, any religious activity, because the rules are very strict. You can't do anything other than practicing Islam. So anything else that we do, they feel that we are going against their religion. It used to be like that, but now I hear they're more free, and then bhajans are being, even Akhanda bhajans are being held now. But at that time, it used to be really tough. So even bringing a small photograph to, taking a photograph to Saudi used to be very difficult. So we all used to have, the small pocket-sized photographs. So those we used to stick it on a cardboard, and that used to be our photograph in the bhajan, because none of us had any big photograph of Swami. So it was always our prayer that we should have a nice photograph in our samiti. In our house used to be the samiti at that time. So we used to keep praying that we should have a photograph. But it so happened that we were traveling to Abu Dhabi for this Dr. Jumsai and Lauren Burrows. They were coming to Dubai for a conference. So we traveled from Saudi to Dubai for this conference. And when we saw in Dubai such beautiful photographs of Swami, we felt that we should have one. So on the way, actually, we stopped at a devotee's house, and we saw the Swami's photograph with an Abhayasta, and we felt that this photograph is so beautiful. So we said we wish we had one photograph like this in our Samiti in Riyadh. So immediately that devotee was, he said, you know what, when I went to Patti, I was looking for photographs and I picked up this photograph. I asked the shopkeeper only just for one photograph. But then when I brought it here, I saw there were 3. So I was thinking, why has he given me 3? Whether the shopkeeper made a mistake, I don't know what happened, but I had asked him only for 1. I gave one recently to somebody else who wanted, and I have one more photograph. Maybe it is meant for you all. Swami wants to come to your Samiti in Riyadh. So he rolled, and it's a huge photograph of Swami. So he rolled it and he gave it to us, and he said, you can take it. So we were very happy. We took that photograph, and we attended the conference in Dubai, and we bought more photographs. We saw a lot of beautiful photographs of Swami. We brought all that. And as we were traveling back, only when we were reaching the Saudi borders, we realized that, we are having so many photographs of Swami. How are we going to cross over the Saudi border? Because these photographs are not allowed there. So books were there, cassettes at that time we used to have a lot of. So I had bought all these EHV songs, cassettes, lot of books on Swami, some books for children, and all these photographs. So everything, the queue was filled with all these things. And then, during when they have the checkup, what we have to do is we have to, come out of the car and leave the car for them to check everything. So we were traveling with another friend. So we all came out, and we stood on the side. He started checking, and his hand, of course, it was a long roll, so it was no way that he could miss it. So he picked it up and he opened it like that, and he saw Swami's Abhayasta photograph, and he made a face and he took it inside for inspection. He wanted to show it to his boss. And then here, I told my friend, and my children were there, so let us all chant Sai Gayatri quietly. So don't worry. And so we were all chanting the Sai Gayatri and standing outside. And we saw from the window, their hands movement and all, wondering what they were discussing. Because, the laws are so strict. So what happens is, if they feel that we are doing something wrong, going against their religion, either they will deport us, which is simple. It's okay. They deport us, we come back to India. Otherwise, what happens is, the person who is working, he will be in jail. It has happened to many friends there. So it was a little this thing for us. But we were just praying to Swami. And after what said about nearly maybe 10 minutes, and he came and he rolled the photograph back and he put it back in the car and he said, go. So we just looked at each other. They were not even asking us anything. What is happening? We quickly, before they change their mind, my husband got into the car and we drove back to Riyadh. And that is how the big photograph, which is still there in our Samiti in Riyadh, came. Swami decided in Parthi itself that he is coming to Riyadh. So when that shopkeeper, instead of one, he gave three. And from there it came to this thing. And now the next to this thing was how to frame it. The photograph was there, but you need to frame it, right? Now where to get that framed? So then we said, anyway, he's come here, even that he will take care. So we went and gave it for framing. And that person, he just asked who it is. Even, oh yeah, there also at the border, he asked my husband, who is this? He said, my father. So the same question, even that framing place, he asked, who is this? Again, he said the same thing, my father. He framed and he gave it. He said, come the next day and collect it. And when he went to collect it, he and another Sai devotee, they said they got a shock of their lives. Why? Because that big photograph of Swami was kept, outside the shop. Swami is Abhyasta, as if he is blessing all the people who are going on that busy, very, very busy road. That means everybody can see. See, everything used to be done in hiding. Nobody will do all any bhajan or anything. It used to be done in a quiet way. And here Swami's photograph was kept outside the shop in Abhyasta. So they took that photograph and they came home and they said just Swami wanted to bless everybody in that country. So that's why he was there and blessing all the people who passed by. So that was again a very, very special way, how very memorable, how Swami, decides something. There's nobody, he can change anybody's mind, and there he is. There he was in the Samiti, and that photograph is still being kept there because it's very difficult to take. And so when we left all the photographs that we had back in Riyadh. So it's all kept there and I heard now that the bhajans and even the activities have gone. Many students have also come there, and bhajans and Akhanda bhajans are all going in a big way there. That was one thing. And one more incident that I wanted to share in this thing was about the Balvika's classes. So Balvika's classes used to be held after the bhajan. Before the bhajan, Balvika's class, and after that got really worried because he was asking so many questions and he wanted to inform us. So he had to go home and give a call to us to tell us to be careful. So he went home and he called us and he told us, see, they are just 4-5 roads away. So please do something and go from there. So we immediately, there was a little debate whether we should just remain there only and not get this thing. But then another side devotee said, Swami also tells us that we have to be careful and use our discrimination. So let us pack everything. So we immediately, packed, and by then the children had left. We also locked our house and we went to a friend's house. So then that day night we didn't come back, and later we came back up. When we came home, they didn't come anywhere near our house because our neighbors said that there was nobody came and inquired or nothing happened. So we all felt that Swami had sort of created a maze, for those days, though they were 4 roads away and they had such a great this thing about description about the building, but even then they were not able to come, and Swami sort of protected us because he had blessed the charter. When the person who one dark stocky, he was a Norwegian, some place like that, he went to Swami for starting bhajans in Riyadh. Swami blessed the charter and he said, you can start, I will be there. So that's how the bhajans and all the activities started. So Swami had blessed the charter, and we were able to manage week after week. Only those who are there will understand, because how difficult it was to have one bhajan session. Here we come, we get together, we have bhajans, we go. But there it used to be, no clapping, no talam, no instruments. We all have to sing, and we have to come in at gap of 5 minutes, because if we all come at the same time and enter that building, they know that something is happening. So we all used to have this time, you come at 5:30, I come at 5:35, like that, park somewhere else, all park in different places, walk as if, like that. And then one person will be downstairs to see if these muttavas are coming to warn us, and have the bhajans, that's how it used to be. And then of course the bhajan sessions used to be very smooth. We used to take all these precautions, but it used to be very smooth. And all the more, after every bhajan session, you will really feel as if it is Swami who is, protecting, and he is taking care. So that was also a beautiful experience that we had in Saudi, when he always told us that he is with us and protecting us like he protects our the eyelid. So that a great moment, and I thank Swami. I think I'll just end here with prayers to Swami to bless us and continue in our journey wherever we are, and be with us and
few more
help.
Few more experiences.
10 minutes.
10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. Let me see what else I have written down. I thought that okay. I'll just tell one more this thing about the same Shiv Kumar Mama's experience. How when he was in Chennai, and he had an heart operation, and I was with that couple, with Mama and Mummy, and when he was he was quite bad, and then just in some hospital in Chennai, I don't remember the name of the hospital, and then when I was with Mami when she went to speak with the doctor there, and she was explaining to her what kind of operation he is going to do, and it was an open heart surgery, and explaining everything. Mami was a little upset because they don't have children, so she was very upset, and saying, I just have, the moment I heard that he's in the hospital, I had gone. So when as the doctor finished speaking, he put his hand inside his pocket and he said, "See, usually I don't give this to anybody, but today in the morning when I was coming out of the house, I picked up this photograph of and I kept it in my pocket. I feel like giving it to you." He gave it to her, and it was Swami's photograph, which said, "Why fear when I'm here?" And Mami didn't know that this person was a Sai devotee, or she didn't know anything. And he says he himself didn't know what prompted him to take this photograph and give it to her. And not just that. And as the operation was happening, he required a lot of blood. So then they were, desperate what to do, because I think he's AB negative. And as they went to the counter, they see two of Swami's students who had come to that hospital, and they told us that Swami had said that you should go to Chennai and contact these hospitals and this particular hospital. Go to this hospital and please give them the list of donors that they have. And here we are looking for blood. So, and then Swami has sent these two students to the hospital and with the list of, AB negative donors, whatever. So, and with that list, it was so easy for us to contact a particular person, and she came and she was able to give, donate blood at that moment. So the same couple in whose house I was telling you, how Swami was playing a lot, eating and everything in their house in Bahrain. It is the same couple I'm talking about, that heart surgery. So while this thing about that particular, one more thing I should say, yeah. Say when it was, I think after I came back and I was in Bangalore, there was this Swami was giving this padukas, right? Swami, the silver padukas from Madurai, the Shetty family, Madaliyar family, yeah, the silver padukas. So my brother-in-law, he wanted to have these padukas. So what he contacted these people in Madurai, and he, at that time Swami used to wear the padukas and give it to whomever had asked, right? So he was in Bahrain at that time, so he wanted to, and we were in Bangalore. So he had ordered, and we were my mother-in-law and myself, and both Aishwarya and Ananya were with me. We were in Vrindavan for darshan. At that time, Swami came, and after the darshan, we were told that he is going to give the padukas, whatever that my brother-in-law had asked, right? He was giving the padukas. It was actually to come only the week after that. And they were supposed to fly down from Bahrain to receive the padukas. But 1 week before, Swami decided to give the padukas. So now we were in a fix, because my brother-in-law had especially asked for the padukas because he wanted that interview, because he would call that person and he would talk to them and, that group, and then give the padukas. So we felt that when he had ordered, how can we go and take it, right? But then they said, no, Swami wants this whole group to come today itself. So my mother-in-law said, there is no way that even my co-sister who is to be in Trichy, she can also not come. So there is no way that only you, me and the children, let us go and receive the padukas. So what had actually happened was, my second daughter, when she was 3 years old, she had started getting fits. And fits means it was not, she's got it once and without any fever or anything, it just came. And after that, she was on medication. So I was just praying to Swami to help, to help her and, take care of her health. And after that, 1 year was over and she was on medication. So this was the, scene at that time. And when Swami called us for the paduka, receiving the paduka, we were in Vrindavan. So my mother-in-law, myself, and the children, we went in and at 3, and we went into the hall for receiving it. At that time, the super specialty hospital was, had just been inaugurated. So Swami was in that, I remember in that interview, he talked only about the super specialty hospital, how the hospital was and how it was, many doctors were coming and doing all the surgeries, and, like a, small child when he gets a new car, he will feel so happy and describe that car, right, and show it to everybody. It was so nice, how beautiful the way he was so nicely talking. He said, you must all go and see that hospital. It is so beautiful, all that. And so the interview was full of that. And then after that, of course, he wore each paduka and he took it out and then he would give it to that concerned person. So that was the moment actually my brother-in-law wanted. But, we were there at that time, so we received it. And as he came near me, I told Swami, my daughter, she's not keeping well. She has, she gets fits. So he touched her on her head like this and gave some extra. He was distributing vibhuti at that time. We were taking namaskar and he was distributing vibhuti. So he gave some extra packets of vibhuti to her and blessed her like this. And that's all. And we took namaskar and we all came. So then after that, she's not had any episodes of fits. We went to the doctor. We had all the checkups done. And then they all said that you don't have to worry at all. She is okay. Don't come back. One Dr. Suresh Arur, who is a neurosurgeon here, very well-known neurosurgeon. He said, no, I think now everything is fine. You forget and don't remind yourself or her that there is any problem at all. Everything is clear. So you don't worry. And that one, touch of Swami on her head, she had continued, of course, the medication for 3 years. But this was at that time when Swami touched her and he said after that, she's fine now. Today she's, married and has a baby. She's, after that, there was no turning back at all. And she has been fine. So this is one more thing, though that was just an excuse, the Paduka was just an excuse. He sort of times everything so well. And whenever we want something, whenever we pray to him, he is there in so many different ways and he just makes it possible. So then the Paduka, of course, is in their house, but it went through us and I think it was meant that he cures Ananya at that time. So we were called and we were this special blessings on us on that particular day. Right. I think I'm done, Aruna. I don't remember anything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sairam, and thank you. I had not really prepared. I had just jotted down few of the experiences and whatever came to my mind, I just spoke like I would speak to a family. Nothing written down, and I'm not a great orator. Please bear with me for whatever I said today. Yeah, Sairam. Sairam, loving Sairam to each one of you here.
Sairam sister, every experience of yours was very heart-touching. We really had a very blissful evening today. And your commitment as Balvika's Guru over 3 decades has touched countless lives. Belonging to Sultan Palya Samiti, you have been doing a great service in the field of education and transforming many lives. May Swami's grace continue upon you and continue to guide you as we walk this path together hand in hand. Let us cherish these moments forever. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu.
Sairam.
Sairam, everyone.
Sairam.
Sairam Akka.
Sairam.
Sairam.
Thanks for sharing such beautiful experiences.
Sairam.
Sairam.
Yeah,
Sairam,
Sairam.
Jayashree. Sairam.
Sairam. Sairam.
Thank you for sharing, Akka, because those devotees who hear about these miracles, especially when it affects children, our children, and we know Swami's protective hand is on them.
Yeah.
Just to hear those words is very reassuring that he's always with us.
I know.
We all need that reassurance again
Yeah.
time and
Of
again.
course, he is there. Yes. He is there with us, with our children, he's there with all of us. Yes, all time.
No, it was very reassuring just to hear that. I could just visualize that the way you said it, you spoke from the heart. That is very reassuring, Akka. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sairam.
Sairam.
Thank you, Akka. Thank you, Jayashree.
Yeah, Sairam.
Thank you so much.
Sairam.
Okay.
Okay.
Sushmita sister, next is yours. Sushmita Patnaik.